This is not a drill. This is a video I seriously didn't want to make. I'm not doing this to generate drama, but smaller creators need and deserve to know the warning signs of somebody that misuses their popularity and influence, steals ideas from other people, and punishes anyone that disagrees with them or steps outside the wall of narrative they've built around themselves. I'm documenting a pattern using the creator's own words and actions because this is not a pattern that just affects a few people. It affects every damn community they touch. I joined this person's server because I was a huge fan of their work. I then volunteered as a voice actor, so did my husband. I dedicated a lot of time and energy to the projects this person created. I was told more than once that the two of us were the best voice actors he had ever worked with. I had access to production channels. I was given scripts. I had access to concept drafts, all of that. I was given manager status. There were no issues, no conflict, worries over intellectual property or paranoia. It was just collaboration. It was during this time period that I began developing a Kessler syndrome video. It was wholly my concept and framing. I spoke about it openly, big mistake. This creator had access to that conversation and never said a word. He did not indicate that he was working on a similar concept. He said nothing about the overlap. There was nothing but radio silence. And then he dropped a scenario built on this same central concept. Still nothing, no acknowledgement, no conversation, no checking if it was okay to develop this similar project. Normally, when creators independently come at the same idea, there's some kind of communication. But he remained silent until he had to protect his narrative. After his video dropped, everything changed. Suddenly, I was no longer an asset, I was a liability. There was a bunch of talk behind my back, with one staff member stating that they didn't know how to get rid of me. There was no incident that triggered this shit. I never leaked anything, nor did I create drama. I was ride or die for this creator, even after having been busted down a rank. I was rewarded for my loyalty by having my religious beliefs mocked and having corollaries made between me and a former moderator that went rogue. Even after I left the server, I did not shit-talk this creator. Suddenly, the creator's narrative flipped. There was talk about idea leakage and a blurred ownership. I didn't want to take away from his work by posting a scenario with so many similarities to his. None of these accusations appeared until he released a concept that undermined mine. Professionals do not react to an overlap like this with paranoia and controlling behavior. They respond with appropriate credit, communication, acknowledgement of parallel evolution. Conversely, people who steal ideas put up walls of narrative after the fact. They try to rewrite history and cast suspicion to hide their actions. This behavior has a name: gaslighting. This person also demonstrates very controlling behavior. Messages that went against them in any way were quietly deleted. There was a lot of censorship, and this creator also tried to order people not to communicate with or be friends with people that had banned from the server for whatever reason. There was also an admin who used a bot to say things he did not want attached to his name. This bot was not moderating or automating. It was insulting members, handing out garbage, delivering attacks. It was performing the emotional labor of cruelty, while the creator and this admin kept their noses clean. And then the mask slipped even further. While directing someone to confront a former mod that had been fired, he suggested an insult containing the word cretin. This word is the equivalent of an ableist slur. It's Czech. Against people with intellectual disabilities. This was not an accident or done in simple ignorance. He was coaching this much younger person on how to launch it with maximum sting. That's not leadership. That's not humor, it's disrespect and contempt disguised as banter. Around this time, a server was created with the intent of drawing some of this bullshit to this creator's attention. A former mod joined the server with the intention of hearing both sides. The creator immediately sent one of his admins to attack this person merely for being in the same room as people who were civilly discussing concerns. I actually was doing my all to make sure nothing ended up being an attack. The former mod was sent a rant of false accusations, gaslighting, and condescending lines about growing up. It didn't address anything real. It was just meant to intimidate. The creator did not even write it himself. He just suggested the aforementioned ableist insult and had someone else deliver the blow. And here's a revealing moment. There was a discussion about moderation that turned into a major raft of shit. It started off as a normal discussion, and one member described what he felt made a good moderator. Another member spoke up. He had been a trial mod but got fired. Others shared some ideas, and then the creator jumped in and accused the first member of campaigning. This member had said nothing out of pocket. It was just thinking out loud. It was a series of ideas. But the creator reacted as though it was an attack on his authority. Shit escalated. The member that had been offering ideas attempted to clarify what he was doing. The creator mocked him for writing too much. He then took a pot shot at him publicly, out in the open server, reminding him that he was no longer on the team. This was neither guidance nor a classification of his expectations. This was open derision toward a former mod for having a thought he did not control. And it was done where everyone could see it. That is not leadership. Things got even more heated when another ex-mod finally said the quiet part out loud. He stated, "You fired me." It was a simple statement of fact. The creator deflected and went into a diatribe about leadership instead of addressing any of the issues directly. That entire exchange reveals how he handles disagreement. No discussion or problem solving, just humiliation, intimidation, insults, silencing anything that does not shape itself according to his narrative. Guess what? More gaslighting. So all of this is his pattern. I have seen screenshots and other proof of everything I've said here. I did not include those because I don't want anyone involved to be targeted. That includes the creator. You may ask me for them privately. I need to protect my sources. That's also why I'm not mentioning names. As I said in the beginning, this is not intended to generate drama. This community has had enough of that. The pattern is that the creator invites skilled people to work with him and then benefits from their work. He fawns upon them, keeps them close until their presence somehow becomes threatening, problematic, or inconvenient. He then reframes them as dangerous, plants suspicion, censors all discussion about them. He isolates people who confront him or disagree. He escalates while swearing up and down that he wants to prevent drama. He doesn't try to resolve anything. He just punishes people rather than communicating. He doesn't lead. He controls. And this is seen even to the point of stating that he deleted his server. The server still exists. It's just been archived and only his inner circle can access it. This video is not intended to be some kind of revenge. It's a warning to smaller creators that might gravitate into his orbit, unaware of his pattern of behavior toward voice talent, staff, other members of the server. This shit neither began nor ended with me. It all speaks for itself. To those smaller EAS creators, protect your work, reinforce your boundaries, support your community, and when someone displays a pattern like this, believe your instincts. People will always eventually tell you who they are. Thank you for listening to this if you've gotten this far. Take care. Be safe.